Meghan Markle is absolutely horrified right now, and honestly, can you blame her? Word on the street is that the Duchess of Sussex woke up to her worst nightmare becoming reality. Explosive leaked excerpts from Jessica Mulroney's upcoming tell-all memoir are already circulating behind the scenes, and the details are apparently devastating. Sources close to the situation reveal that Meghan went into full panic mode the second she learned that pieces of Jessica's book had somehow made their way out before publication. We're talking emergency phone calls, frantic meetings with her legal team, and what insiders describe as absolute chaos in the Sussex camp. The leaked content is reportedly so damaging that people in Meghan's inner circle are calling it potentially career-ending. According to industry insiders, these aren't just vague allegations or rehashed tabloid fodder. These are specific, detailed accounts from someone who was literally Meghan's closest friend during some of the most pivotal moments of her life. Jessica Mulroney wasn't just any friend. She was the wedding planner, the confidante, the person Meghan trusted with her deepest secrets and biggest fears. And now, rumor has it, all of that trust is about to be weaponized in the most public way possible. Palace insiders whisper that Meghan's reaction to the leak was nothing short of devastating. One source claims she was visibly shaken, her hands trembling as she scrolled through the reports detailing what Jessica allegedly plans to reveal. The timing couldn't be worse for the Duchess, who's been working overtime to rebuild her public image after years of controversy and criticism. Just when it seemed like things might be settling down, Jessica Mulroney drops this atomic bomb, and the fallout promises to be absolutely catastrophic. The buzz in royal circles is that these leaked details include things Meghan never imagined would see the light of day. We're talking private conversations where she allegedly expressed doubts about royal life, complaints about palace constraints, and even strategic discussions about how to handle their exit from the royal family. According to reports surfacing online, Jessica documented everything: text messages, phone call summaries, even voice recordings that could provide undeniable proof of conversations that Meghan probably wishes had stayed private forever. What makes this situation even more explosive is that Jessica apparently has receipts, real tangible evidence that could back up every claim she makes in her memoir. Industry sources suggest that publishers are already salivating at the prospect of a book that comes with actual documentation rather than just hearsay and speculation. This isn't going to be another royal book filled with anonymous sources and vague allegations. This is going to be personal, specific, and potentially absolutely devastating for Meghan's carefully constructed narrative. Behind closed doors, people are saying that Meghan is consulting with crisis management experts to figure out how to handle this impending disaster. Do they get ahead of the story? Do they issue denials? Do they try to discredit Jessica before the book even comes out? Every option seems fraught with danger, and the clock is ticking. But this horror story is just beginning. To understand why Meghan is in such absolute panic mode right now, you need to understand just how deep her friendship with Jessica Mulroney really went. This wasn't some casual Hollywood acquaintance or convenient connection. Jessica was Meghan's ride or die, her trusted confidante, the person she turned to when literally everything was falling apart. They were inseparable for years, sharing secrets that were supposed to go to the grave. And that's exactly what makes this betrayal so absolutely devastating. Jessica wasn't just standing on the sidelines of Meghan's royal journey. She was right there in the trenches, helping orchestrate one of the biggest weddings in modern history. Sources close to the situation reveal that Jessica knew every single detail about the royal wedding planning, from the flower arrangements to the family drama happening behind closed doors. She witnessed the stress, the tears, the arguments, and most importantly, she heard all the unfiltered thoughts Meghan had about the royal family during those intense months of preparation. But the wedding was just the beginning. According to insiders, Jessica became Meghan's lifeline during the darkest days of her time as a working royal. When the British tabloids were tearing her apart, when palace staff were allegedly leaking stories, when Meghan felt completely alone and trapped, Jessica was the person she called. Late-night phone conversations, tearful video chats, frantic text messages, all of it allegedly documented, and now potentially about to be shared with the entire world. What makes this friendship so dangerous for Meghan now is that Jessica wasn't just a listener. She was actively involved in strategy sessions. Reports are surfacing that Jessica helped Meghan navigate some of her most controversial decisions, from how to handle negative press to planning their eventual exit from royal duties. If those claims are true, and Jessica has evidence to back them up, then we're talking about a complete dismantling of the narrative Meghan has carefully constructed over the years. The bond between these two women went beyond just friendship. Their families were intertwined. Jessica's children were in Meghan's wedding. They vacationed together, celebrated holidays together, shared moments that only the closest of friends experience. That level of intimacy means Jessica has access to stories and secrets that no interviewer, no journalist, no royal expert could ever uncover. She was there for the unguarded moments, the vulnerable confessions, the strategic planning sessions that happened after the camera stopped rolling. Industry insiders suggest that Jessica's memoir will reveal conversations where Meghan allegedly vented about specific royal family members, complained about protocol, and plotted how to break free from the constraints of palace life. These weren't casual complaints shared with a therapist bound by confidentiality. These were raw emotional outbursts shared with someone Meghan thought she could trust completely. And now, that trust is about to be shattered in the most public and humiliating way imaginable. But the secrets Jessica knows, they're about to get even more explosive. Now here's where things get absolutely nuclear for Meghan. According to sources close to the situation, Jessica Mulroney has allegedly got her hands on receipts, real documented evidence, about the infamous Netflix deal that supposedly saved Harry and Meghan financially after their royal exit. And if these claims are true, the revelations could completely destroy the carefully crafted story the Sussexes have been selling to the public for years. Insiders claim that Jessica was privy to behind-the-scenes conversations during the Netflix negotiations. We're talking about the deal that was reportedly worth over $100 million, the contract that was supposed to establish Harry and Meghan as serious content creators and Hollywood power players. But rumor has it that what really happened during those negotiations was far different from the polished PR version the public received. According to whispers from publishing circles, Jessica allegedly has text messages and emails that show Meghan strategizing about how to maximize their earning potential from the Netflix deal. Sources suggest these communications reveal conversations about leveraging royal drama, planning content that would keep the controversy alive, and potentially even discussing how to time revelations for maximum impact and profit. If true, this would completely contradict Meghan's public stance about wanting privacy and moving away from the spotlight. But wait, it gets even messier. Reports are surfacing that Jessica might have evidence showing Meghan was planning the Netflix deal long before the official royal exit announcement. Industry insiders whisper that there were preliminary conversations happening while Harry and Meghan were still working royals, discussions about potential projects, money negotiations, and strategic planning for their post-royal careers. This would blow apart the narrative that they were forced into these deals out of necessity after being cut off financially. The most damaging allegation? Sources claim Jessica has documentation showing that certain royal family dramas were potentially prolonged or amplified specifically to create content for Netflix. Think about it. Every controversy, every headline, every family feud potentially becomes material for documentaries and interviews. And if Jessica can prove that some of these conflicts were strategically managed for content creation, the public backlash would be absolutely catastrophic for Meghan's reputation. What's driving Meghan crazy right now is that these aren't just allegations Jessica can throw around without proof. According to publishing insiders, the memoir apparently includes actual screenshots, forwarded emails, and detailed accounts of specific conversations that happened during the Netflix negotiations. This means Meghan can't just deny everything and hope it goes away. If Jessica really has the receipts, there's no spinning this story in Meghan's favor. Royal experts are already predicting that if these Netflix revelations come out as described, it could completely destroy any remaining goodwill Meghan has with the public. The carefully constructed image of a woman forced into commercializing her royal connections out of desperation would crumble, replaced by a far more calculated and opportunistic narrative. And Jessica Mulroney apparently has all the evidence needed to make that case absolutely airtight. But the puppet master allegations? Those are even worse. Hold on to your seats because this next revelation is absolutely mind-blowing. Sources close to Jessica Mulroney's publishing team claim the memoir contains explosive allegations that Meghan was the mastermind behind Prince Harry's controversial tell-all book, Spare. And we're not just talking about her offering some supportive feedback. According to these insiders, Jessica allegedly has evidence suggesting Meghan orchestrated the entire project as a strategic weapon against the royal family. Think about how Harry's memoir was marketed to the public. It was supposed to be his story, his truth, his unfiltered journey from spare heir to liberated husband and father. But rumor has it that Jessica's book will paint a completely different picture. Industry insiders whisper that she has text messages showing Meghan actively coaching Harry on what to include, which family members to target, and how to frame certain events for maximum impact and public sympathy. The allegations get even more shocking. According to reports surfacing from publishing circles, Jessica claims to have evidence that Meghan was essentially ghostwriting certain sections of Harry's memoir through her influence. We're talking about late-night strategy sessions where Meghan allegedly told Harry exactly which stories would generate the most headlines, which revelations would hurt the royals the most, and which family secrets absolutely needed to be exposed for their narrative to work. But here's the part that's apparently making Meghan absolutely panic. Sources suggest Jessica has recordings or documented proof of conversations where Meghan discussed using Harry's memoir as revenge against specific royal family members. The buzz in royal circles is that these communications show Meghan identifying particular incidents from Harry's past that could be weaponized, moments that could be reframed or exaggerated to paint certain royals in the worst possible light, What makes these allegations particularly damaging is the timing element. According to insiders close to the memoir project, Jessica apparently has evidence showing that Meghan was planning this tell-all strategy long before Harry publicly announced he was writing a book. If true, this would mean the entire project was calculated from the beginning, not some spontaneous decision by Harry to share his story, but rather a carefully orchestrated attack planned and executed by Meghan. The most devastating claim? Reports suggest Jessica has proof that Meghan used Harry's emotional vulnerabilities and unresolved trauma about his mother's death to manipulate what went into the book. Industry sources whisper that the memoir will detail how Meghan allegedly encouraged Harry to draw parallels between Diana's treatment and Meghan's own experiences, essentially weaponizing his grief to build their public narrative and destroy their enemies within the palace. Royal experts are calling these allegations potentially marriage-ending if they turn out to be true. The image of Harry as Meghan's puppet, being manipulated into attacking his own family through a supposedly personal memoir, would fundamentally change how the public views their relationship. And if Jessica Mulroney really has the receipts to back up these claims, there's absolutely no way Meghan can spin herself out of this disaster. But the revenge list? That's where things get truly terrifying. Buckle up, because what Jessica Mulroney allegedly has in her arsenal might be the most explosive revelation yet. According to publishing insiders, the memoir contains evidence of what sources are calling Meghan's revenge list, a documented strategy of royals she allegedly planned to make pay for perceived slights and humiliations during her time in the palace. And we're not talking about vague grudges or casual complaints. Reports suggest Jessica has actual recordings and text messages showing Meghan plotting specific ways to damage certain royal family members. The buzz in royal circles is absolutely electric right now. Sources close to the situation claim that Jessica documented conversations where Meghan allegedly named names, identified specific royals who had wronged her, and discussed exactly how she planned to get back at them. This wasn't just venting to a friend over wine. According to insiders, these were calculated strategy sessions about public humiliation, media manipulation, and long-term reputation destruction. Industry sources whisper that the recordings allegedly include Meghan discussing how to use interviews, documentaries, and public appearances to systematically take down her enemies within the royal family. We're talking about planning which stories to leak, which allegations to make, and when to drop certain bombshells for maximum damage. If these recordings exist and Jessica releases them, the carefully crafted image of Meghan as a victim would completely crumble. But here's where it gets even more sinister. Reports are surfacing that Jessica's memoir will reveal specific incidents where Meghan allegedly manipulated situations to make certain royals look bad. Sources suggest the book contains evidence of Meghan setting up scenarios, recording private conversations without consent, and deliberately creating conflicts that she could later exploit in the media. This would paint a picture of someone playing three-dimensional chess with people's reputations and livelihoods. The most shocking alleged revelation? According to whispers from publishing houses, Jessica has proof that Meghan kept detailed notes on every royal family interaction, documenting slights both real and perceived, building a case file that could later be weaponized. Think about it. Every family dinner, every public appearance, every private conversation potentially being recorded and analyzed for future use in their war against the palace. What's driving Meghan absolutely insane right now is that these alleged recordings apparently capture her in completely unguarded moments. Sources claim you can hear the venom in her voice as she discusses various royals, the cold calculation as she plans her moves, and the absolute determination to make them suffer for how they treated her. This isn't the composed, graceful Duchess the public sees. This is allegedly someone consumed by rage and revenge. Royal experts are already predicting that if even half of these allegations prove true, Meghan's reputation will be completely destroyed. The narrative of a modern woman standing up to an outdated institution would be replaced by the image of a manipulative operator who used her position to wage personal vendettas. And Jessica Mulroney apparently has all the evidence needed to prove it. But the racism scandal reversal, that might be the final nail in the coffin. Now we're getting to the part that has Meghan absolutely terrified. Sources close to Jessica Mulroney's publishing team reveal that the memoir plans to completely flip the narrative on the 2020 racism scandal that ended their friendship, and what Jessica allegedly has to say could destroy everything Meghan has built. This is the incident that broke the internet, that positioned Meghan as standing up against racism, and that ultimately severed one of the most important friendships in her life. But according to insiders, Jessica is ready to tell her side of the story, and it's apparently nothing like what the public believes happened. For those who need a refresher, Jessica was essentially cancelled after being accused of exhibiting white privilege during a social media exchange with lifestyle blogger Sasha Exeter. Meghan remained conspicuously silent during the controversy, and their friendship appeared to end overnight. The public narrative positioned Meghan as taking a principled stand against racism, distancing herself from problematic behavior, But rumor has it that Jessica's memoir will paint a completely different picture of what really went down behind closed doors. Industry insiders whisper that Jessica has receipts showing she reached out to Meghan multiple times during the scandal, begging for support, explaining her side of the story, and asking for the friend who she'd sacrificed so much for to have her back. According to sources, these communications allegedly show Meghan coldly calculating that supporting Jessica would damage her own brand, and making the strategic decision to cut ties without a second thought. If true, this would reveal a level of betrayal that's absolutely chilling. But the allegations get even more explosive. Reports are surfacing that Jessica's book will claim the entire situation was manipulated by Meghan to create distance from someone who knew too many secrets. Sources suggest Jessica believes she was set up, used as a pawn in Meghan's larger strategy to reinvent herself and her public image. According to publishing insiders, the memoir will detail how convenient it was for Meghan that this scandal happened exactly when Jessica might have become a liability rather than an asset. What's really got Meghan in panic mode is that Jessica allegedly has text messages and emails that show a completely different side of their final interactions. According to whispers from royal circles, these communications reveal Meghan's true thoughts about the situation, thoughts that directly contradict the public stance she took. We're talking about potential evidence of Meghan privately acknowledging Jessica's innocence while publicly allowing her to be destroyed. The most damaging claim? Sources suggest it will reveal that Meghan encouraged her to take certain actions that ultimately made the scandal worse, only to abandon her when the backlash hit. Industry insiders are calling this potential revelation absolutely devastating because it would show Meghan sacrificing her closest friend to protect her own reputation and advance her own agenda. If Jessica can prove these allegations with actual documentation, the carefully constructed image of Meghan as someone who stands up for justice would completely collapse. But the social media purge that followed, that's where desperation really showed. The moment Meghan learned about the leaked excerpts from Jessica's memoir, sources say she went into absolute meltdown mode, and her first instinct was damage control through social media erasure. According to insiders, within hours of the leak hitting insider circles, Meghan allegedly began systematically scrubbing any trace of her friendship with Jessica from the internet. We're talking about a frantic digital purge that royal watchers are calling both desperate and telling. Industry sources reveal that old Instagram posts featuring Jessica started disappearing almost immediately. Photos from the royal wedding where Jessica's children played prominent roles, candid shots from vacations they took together, birthday tributes and friendship celebrations, all allegedly being deleted or archived in what insiders describe as a panicked attempt to rewrite history. But here's the thing, the internet never forgets, and screenshots of everything were already circulating before Meghan could finish her digital cleanup. What makes this social media purge so fascinating is the timing and the obvious desperation behind it. According to sources close to the situation, Meghan didn't just remove recent posts. She allegedly went back years, systematically eliminating any public acknowledgement that Jessica Mulroney had ever been an important part of her life. Royal experts are calling this move incredibly short-sighted because it only confirms that Meghan has something to hide, something she's absolutely terrified will come to light. But the purge didn't stop at social media. Reports are surfacing that Meghan's team allegedly contacted various media outlets and publications, requesting that old interviews mentioning Jessica be edited or removed from online archives. Sources whisper that there were frantic calls to PR teams, lawyers getting involved, and what insiders describe as an all-out war to eliminate Jessica from Meghan's public narrative. The desperation is apparently palpable. The most telling part of this whole situation? According to industry insiders, the social media scrubbing happened so quickly and so thoroughly that it actually drew more attention to the leaked excerpts than if Meghan had just stayed quiet. Royal watchers who might not have even heard about the book leak suddenly started asking questions when they noticed Meghan frantically deleting years of content. The Streisand effect in full force, and Meghan apparently too panicked to realize she's making everything worse. What's really got people talking is how this purge contradicts Meghan's previous public statements about Jessica. There are recorded interviews where Meghan praised Jessica's friendship, called her irreplaceable, and emphasized how important she was to her life. Now, according to sources, she's trying to erase every trace of that relationship like it never existed. The hypocrisy is absolutely staggering, and royal experts say it reveals just how terrified Meghan is of what Jessica might expose. Behind closed doors, people are saying that Meghan's legal team advised against the social media purge, warning that it would make her look guilty and desperate. But apparently she was too panicked to listen, too scared of what those leaked excerpts might reveal to think strategically. And now, according to insiders, she's realizing it's too little, too late. But what's actually in Jessica's book? That's the real nightmare. So what exactly is in this book that has Meghan Markle absolutely losing her mind? According to publishing insiders who've allegedly seen early drafts, Behind the Veil: My Story of Meghan and Me is packed with the kind of explosive revelations that could permanently destroy the Duchess's carefully crafted public image. And we're not talking about minor gossip or petty grievances. Sources suggest this memoir contains information so damaging that industry experts are calling it potentially career-ending. The buzz in publishing circles is that Jessica has documented everything from their first meeting to their final falling out with brutal honesty and devastating detail. According to sources, the book allegedly includes private conversations where Meghan expressed views that completely contradict her public persona. We're talking about statements on everything from her true feelings about the royal family to her actual opinions on issues she's publicly championed. If these accounts are accurate, the hypocrisy could be absolutely staggering. Industry insiders whisper that one of the most explosive sections allegedly details Meghan's real motivations for pursuing Prince Harry in the first place. According to reports, Jessica claims to have evidence showing that the romance was far more calculated than the fairy tale love story presented to the public. Sources suggest the memoir includes conversations about brand building, global recognition, and leveraging royal connections for future opportunities. This would completely shatter the narrative of two people who found each other against all odds. But wait, it gets even more devastating. Reports are surfacing that Jessica's book allegedly exposes Meghan's manipulation tactics within her inner circle. According to publishing sources, the memoir details how Meghan allegedly pitted friends against each other, created drama to maintain control, and discarded people the moment they were no longer useful. If true, this paints a picture of someone whose entire life is a strategic game where everyone is just a pawn. The most shocking alleged revelation? Sources claim Jessica has documented proof that Meghan fabricated or exaggerated certain incidents to gain sympathy and control narratives. We're talking about potential evidence that some of the most talked about moments in the Sussex saga might have been manufactured or manipulated for public consumption. Royal experts are calling these allegations absolutely nuclear if they can be proven. What's really driving Meghan crazy is that Jessica apparently knows where all the bodies are buried, and she's ready to dig them all up. According to insiders, the book allegedly includes details about Meghan's relationships with other celebrities, her real feelings about various charities and causes she supported, and the truth behind several controversies that have defined her public life. This isn't just one scandal. This is potentially a complete dismantling of everything Meghan has worked to build. Industry sources suggest the memoir also contains Jessica's personal reflections on being used and discarded by someone she considered family. The emotional weight of that betrayal apparently comes through on every page, making the revelations even more powerful and believable. And with a rumored 300+ pages of this explosive content, Meghan's worst nightmare is about to become very public reality. But why is Jessica doing this now? The 7-figure betrayal reveals all. Here's the question everyone's asking right now. Why is Jessica Mulroney choosing this exact moment to destroy her former best friend? And according to industry insiders, the answer is as shocking as it is simple. Money, revenge, and the perfect storm of circumstances that make this the ideal time to strike. Sources close to Jessica's publishing deal reveal that she's allegedly secured a 7-figure contract for this tell-all memoir, and publishers are betting big that the public's appetite for royal drama will make this book an absolute bestseller. But this isn't just about the money. According to people close to Jessica, the decision to write this book has been years in the making, fueled by what she allegedly sees as the ultimate betrayal. Sources suggest that Jessica feels completely used and discarded by Meghan, thrown away like trash the moment she became inconvenient. And now, with nothing left to lose and everything to gain, she's ready to weaponize every secret she ever kept. The timing of this book release is absolutely calculated, and insiders say it's designed for maximum damage. According to publishing sources, Jessica and her team analyzed the perfect moment to drop this bombshell, waiting until Meghan had rebuilt some public goodwill, only to tear it all down again. Royal experts are calling this strategic timing absolutely brilliant and devastatingly cruel. It's not just about telling her story, it's about destroying Meghan when it will hurt the most. Industry insiders whisper that Jessica has been sitting on this material for years, watching Meghan build her post-royal empire, watching her sign lucrative deals and position herself as a humanitarian and advocate. And according to sources, every success Meghan achieved just fueled Jessica's determination to expose what she allegedly sees as the truth behind the carefully constructed facade. This isn't spontaneous. This is calculated revenge served ice cold. But here's what's really got people talking. Reports suggest that Jessica tried multiple times to reconcile with Meghan privately before deciding to go nuclear with this book. According to sources close to the situation, Jessica allegedly reached out seeking closure, seeking acknowledgement of their friendship and what it meant. And Meghan reportedly ignored every single attempt, treating Jessica like she never existed. That final rejection apparently pushed Jessica over the edge and straight into a publishing deal. The 7-figure sum Jessica allegedly received isn't just compensation for her story. According to industry insiders, it's validation that what she has to say matters, that the secrets she's kept have real value, and that the world wants to hear her side of things. Publishers apparently see this as the royal tell-all of the decade, potentially outselling even Prince Harry's memoir because it comes from someone with no remaining loyalty to protect. What makes this betrayal so perfect for Jessica is that Meghan taught her everything she knows about media manipulation, strategic timing, and weaponizing personal stories for maximum impact. And now, according to sources, Jessica is using those exact same tactics against her former mentor. The student has become the master, and Meghan is about to learn what it feels like to be on the receiving end of complete and total exposure. But what happens when this book actually drops? The countdown is terrifying, the clock is ticking, and according to royal experts, Meghan Markle is facing what could be the most devastating moment of her entire public life. When Behind the Veil: My Story of Meghan and Me officially hits shelves, sources predict the fallout will be absolutely catastrophic, not just for Meghan's reputation, but potentially for every deal, every partnership, and every carefully constructed element of her post-royal brand. Industry insiders are calling this a potential career-ending event, and the countdown has Meghan reportedly paralyzed with fear. Let's talk about what royal experts predict will happen the moment this book drops. First, according to sources, there will be an immediate media firestorm unlike anything we've seen since the Oprah interview. But this time, Meghan won't control the narrative. Jessica will have receipts, documentation, and evidence that could make denial impossible. The carefully managed image of Meghan as victim and humanitarian could crumble within hours of publication, replaced by allegations of manipulation, calculation, and betrayal that she won't be able to spin away. The financial implications could be absolutely staggering. According to industry insiders, major brands and partners are already reportedly discussing contingency plans in case Jessica's allegations prove damaging enough to make Meghan toxic to work with. We're talking about potential loss of endorsement deals, canceled projects, and partnerships quietly dissolving to avoid being associated with the controversy. The Sussex brand, already struggling to maintain relevance, could face complete collapse. But here's what's really terrifying for Meghan. Sources suggest that even if she tries to fight back legally, Jessica and her publishers have apparently prepared for every possible response. Defamation lawsuits, they allegedly have documentation to back up every claim. Public denials, they're ready with evidence that could make Meghan look like a liar. Crisis PR campaigns, industry insiders say anything Meghan does will just draw more attention to the book and its explosive revelations. Royal watchers predict that the relationship between Harry and Meghan could also face serious strain once this book is released. According to sources, some of Jessica's alleged revelations paint Meghan as the puppet master manipulating Harry's decisions and relationships. If Harry reads detailed accounts of how he was allegedly used and controlled, experts suggest it could create cracks in their united front that may never fully heal. The most chilling prediction? According to publishing insiders, this book could open the floodgates for others who feel wronged by Meghan to come forward with their own stories. Jessica breaking her silence might embolden former friends, staff members, and associates to share their experiences, creating a cascade of revelations that Meghan would have no way to control or contain. One book could trigger an avalanche that buries everything she's built. As the publication date approaches, sources say Meghan is consulting with everyone from crisis managers to legal teams to PR experts, desperately searching for a way to survive what's coming. But according to insiders, there may be no escape from this nightmare. Jessica Mulroney knows too much, has too much proof, and is too determined to finally tell her truth. The countdown to career destruction has begun, and Meghan Markle might be powerless to stop it. So what do you think? Will Jessica's book completely destroy Meghan's reputation, or will the Duchess somehow survive this latest scandal? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe because trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. The royal drama is far from over, and the next bombshell might be even more explosive than this one.